Hi everyone, Paula McCoy here. I thought I'd come to you on this video. I will be able to do these live. If you're interested in those, please leave me a comment below and let me know if you would like to see these a couple of times a week. What I'm working on right now is using brushes and doing a brushstroke video. So I thought I would come on and just show you a little snippet of what I've been working on. Okay, so hang on one second. Alright, so we'll get you full view here of the paper that I'm using, and what I'm using right now is a Kolinsky 5200 size 8. 5200 in our line is a square shader. I'm going to water load that brush, drag off the edge of my water bowl to remove the excess water, and I'm going to keep the writing of the brush towards me when I corner load. The first thing that I want to do though is I want to draw something that to start my flower. This is what I'm going to do. Flower and some leaves. Okay, so I draw a Y, and then I have two large sections here. So I divide those sections in half, and now I have 5 sections that are equal. And that's how I start my flowers. And if you wanted more petals, if it was a daisy, you could divide those again and again. Okay, so back to water load. We're going to corner load with the color, and I'm using color concentrates at the moment. I'm just working on paper. This is CC 152 Deep Cerulean. Once you corner load, you are going to blend, flip the brush over, blend color next to color. Sometimes I will load twice when I first start. Okay, so what I'm going to do is float this color onto each petal and create a shape that I want. So I went down one side, and I'm going to go over here and go to the other side and meet them. Constantly rinsing between each stroke. Keep the writing of the brush towards you. Once again, corner load. About 1/3 of the brush is what you want to do as far as your corner load. Press down. Let the bristles fan out and determine the width of your color. So a brush stroke is color, pressure, and motion. So let me show you. I'm going to load again. And so up here, I'm going to show you that when you press down and fan it out, you go from solid color and then it gradually fades out. So that's what we're doing on these petals. It's just fading out to water. Just giving us, it's called floating of color. Okay, and when you load your brush, make sure that there's no water on the ferrule, which is the silver or gold, depends on the maker, what they have on there as far as the color. So blend, blend. We're going to do the next one. We're going to start on the chisel edge, press down, fan it out, come around, rinse between each one. Keep the writing of the brush towards you. Blend it on the palette. Press down and come around. So you can create different shapes by doing this. And I am working from my home studio, so there may be a little bit of background noise. Press down, fan out. I'm going to come around here and meet it. Okay, so there's my flower. Now I'm going to add some leaves. Alright, I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it in a shape of a leaf. Kind of wave it a little bit, just to give it some character. I'm loading again, and I'm going to nestle this one beside that one. And we'll put one more. I like to do odd numbers. Do one more on the other side. This particular brush is a well-used brush, I just noticed. So it does have a couple of little hairs that are wild on me. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a Kolinsky script liner, the 5150. This is a size 1. When the brush, you look at that and you see the hairs are kind of fuzzy. That's just because they're dry. Don't think there's something wrong with it. Once you dampen that brush, it comes back to a point. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take some of that same color in the center of my palette, and I'm going to thin it with some water because I'm going to do some line work and detail work. So when you're loading, I like to pull through. It's like shampooing your hair. You've got to pull it through there and get those hairs coated with the color, okay? And then you should have a nice point on the end of your brush. If you don't, then there either is some color that's left in there from previous times, or maybe it's just the brush itself, okay? All right, so let's outline the petals. And I'm just working on just recycled paper here, nothing fancy. I just pulled it out of a sketchbook. Okay, and so you can do thick and thin, and then I like to pull some fine detail lines from the center there. So the amount of pressure you put down on the brush will determine how thick or thin the lines are. A brush stroke is color, pressure, and motion, because with this brush being a script liner or any kind of liner, if I'll tilt the brush so you can see it here. If you stay up on the tippy toes, you can get a nice fine line. If you press down more, you will get a thicker line. And if you press even harder, you get a larger line. Okay, so when you're holding the brush, try not to hold it straight up. You want to be slightly cocked back, but you don't want to be laying down like a pencil either, because then you cannot come off of that stroke and get that fine point on the end, or just to have a nice stroke. All right, so I'm just going to pull in some lines here, and I'm adding what I call little tick marks to create pollen at the end of the stamens there. We're going to put a center vein, side veins, and then again thick and thin for my outline. Okay, and that's up to you. Everybody has their own style of detailing and outlining. This is what I call my Paula flower. I have done this flower so many times over the years. I think I could do it in my sleep. Okay, so detail, stand up on your tippy toes, make those different lengths. You don't want all of them the same length, okay? Constantly reload. And again, this is a number 1 script liner. So the script liner is longer as far as the hairs. This is just a liner, and this is your script liner. So you can see that the hairs are half again or so longer. Now, can you do it with the other? Absolutely. You can do this with any type of liner. You would just vary, it would vary the size of the lines that you're actually doing. Make some of them larger or smaller. So I'm just keeping this monochromatic and just staying with one color, just as a demo, and just kind of tap the in the center with the tip of the brush there to create your center. Then we're going to outline these leaves. You can see you can curl there on the tail. So just remember, the amount of pressure you put will determine the size of your line. Okay. So this is just a fun little 5-petal flower that I like to do. Stay up on your tippy toes for your nice fine lines. Okay, so let's add some curlicues. When you're doing your tendrils, curlicues, when you go into the curve, you need to lift the brush off of the surface a little bit to create that curl. So I'm pressing down, now I'm lifting up, press down, lift up, so you can kind of get into that turn. That's something that A lot of people don't tell you. It's kind of just a natural thing when we're doing it, but just to give you some idea. And I know that's hard to see because I don't have a side view camera, but I wanted you to be aware of that, okay? All right, so you could even come in and, oh gosh, do some comma strokes if you wanted to add some strokes here along the side just to create a little motif. Maybe we wanted one up here. Now normally I would do a comma stroke with a round brush, but I'm showing you how you can do it with this script liner. So the amount of pressure will determine the size of that stroke, okay? All right, you can also, I would sign also with this brush. And so I'm showing you with two brushes, the square shader and your script liner or liner, you can actually do a design. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think. If you'd like to see some of these quick little demos, since we're all kind of stay at home at the moment with everything that's going on with the coronavirus. So I thought I would try to uplift you and put a little idea in the back of your mind. Maybe get your brushes out and show me what you can do with them. Okay? All right. All right, I'm back live again. So I hope you like this. Like I said, let me know if there's something you want to see specifically, and I will try to do my best to bring that to you. And if you'd like to see this live versus a recorded video, of course, you can always go back on the lives and watch them again. So, all right, thanks for joining me, and take care and be safe and healthy.